All right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is going ahead and getting this big, ginormous bag of Soil 3 opened up so that we can get this spread into the new Vigo garden bed that I have. Now, I'm probably quite sure that I have more potatoes than I have room for. So the rest of the potatoes are going to go into the ground. Now, if you watch my other video, you probably remember me saying that I wanted to do the potatoes all in the Vigo garden beds this year, but I ran out of beds. We did purchase some more, but they haven't been put together yet. And really, I want to use those for something else. So I'm going to open up this big bag of Soil 3 compost. We're going to go ahead and get this one bed filled up. And then what we can't fit in the bed is going to go in this row that I've gotten weeded up so far. So let's get to work. So it has been super rainy here. It's April, but the rain has been like outrageous. I think it started like mid-March. And whenever it rains here in Southeast Alabama during the spring like this, whew, it can be tumultuous. Like crazy, crazy hard rains, lots and lots of thunderstorms. So that only brings out a lot of bugs and tons more weeds, none of which we need. No, it looks like this Soil 3 is full of ants. Of course it is. If I was an ant, I would be hiding in here too. That's not really how I want to start my new garden bed, with ants. But this is all the soil that I have. So I'm going to do my best to work with what I got. Oh, that is so crappy. Let me get the shovel. I do have a few holes back here in the yard that I can fill up. So I might just take the part that has ants and put that in there. I don't really want to use my compost to fill up these holes. Because this stuff is expensive. This bag probably cost about $200. And don't get me wrong, we buy it because it goes a long way and because it's really good stuff. But again, we don't really want to use it to fill up holes in the garden, fill up holes in the yard. But I really don't want to start off my new bed that I have to plant potatoes in with ants. So I'm going to try to see if I can get most of them out of here. I've gotten the part where the babies are, so that's good. What tends to happen, the reason why we have these holes in the yard is that my dad or my husband will use what they call the wagon and attach it to the truck, and then it'll be really, really heavy. And because it's been raining so much, the ground is very soft and the tires spin. And so that's why we have these big divots in the yard over here. So this is not how I thought my morning was going to start, but you gotta do what you gotta do. We were going to buy some topsoil and fill that in, but guess that's gonna work. Maybe one more scoop should do it, and then when I start to pull from this for the garden box, I'll pull from a different side. There's good news. I found the wheelbarrow. So then what I'm going to be doing is filling up the wheelbarrow, and then I'll work it once I get over to the garden bed. This will make it easier because then I won't be walking back and forth, because that really would have taken a lot more time than I have. And I'm trying to work smart, not hard, and I'm trying to be super efficient today because it's going to rain again today. But that's what spring. You know, they say April showers bring May flowers. Well, this year it's March and April showers. I've had this happen before where my soil was full of ants and I planted onions in there. Now, the ants didn't touch the onions, but what they did touch was the blood meal that I put in there to fertilize the onions. So I literally watched them carrying off the blood meal, which was very disheartening. Because you work hard to buy soil and amendments and all of the things. And you don't really want some animals, no matter how small, coming through and taking the work that you've worked so hard for, because then that's money down the drain and everything else. So that's really not what we want. Okay, that's probably full enough. I don't want to do too much to hurt myself. Looks like the wheelbarrow is higher than the Vigo garden box, so perfect. Working efficiently. That's the last one for this one.
Huh?
We don't need any more for this box.
And what's next?
Okay, so what I'm doing now is making some trenches for the potatoes. And I just go about down to the native soil. And then I'll put some bone meal in here, just like I did in the Vigo garden boxes. And then we'll place the potatoes and we'll cover it back up. Alright, so I got a new tool that I want to share with you guys. See if I can get this camera to work right. we go. It is called a Hori Hori knife, and I bought it when I bought my Vigo garden boxes. It is pretty great from what I can tell. I watched a couple of YouTube videos on it as well. It's got measurements on it. It's got a serrated edge as well as a very, very sharp edge on this side. And so I'm going to be using this as my utility knife, my go-to knife for everything. And so since I've got this box of potatoes that I need to cut up to plant, I'm going to use it to cut up the potatoes. So comes with a little carrying pouch. I never wear a belt or have like jeans on too much in the garden, so this won't be good for me, but if Brandon uses it, I'm sure that this will be good for him. So I'm sitting right next to the Vigo garden box that we planted the first potatoes in on February 28th, and pan a little bit so that you can see those. The box looks really good. The potatoes are growing nicely. I'm going to come behind and start hilling those up, and that's going to continue to grow nicely as it should. And so what we're going to do now, these were the organic red Norland that I planted in this box. This is the rest of those organic red Norland. So these are the ones that I'm going to start with in this first row. And you can see they've got plenty of eyes on them, which is great. Some of the eyes came off, but it's still fine. So this will be 2 potatoes for me. We'll just slice that way. And we'll plant them like this, always with the eyes up, because that's how they're going to grow. So I'm going to put the potato side down and then the eyes up. So we're going to do that in the soil. I'm just putting them over to the side for right now while I get the pieces cut up that I need. And sometimes some of these are small enough where you don't even have to cut them. But, you know, if you're trying to maximize potatoes like we are, cut them up. Cut them up. So there we go. Tons of eyes right there. A couple of eyes right there, so that's good. All right, I've already got the bone meal placed in the trench, and now it's time to place the potatoes in there. The one good thing about working on the in the ground with the potatoes is that you can give them more space to grow. All right, let me give you guys a closer look. So I believe that there's 12 red Norland, organic red Norland potato pieces in here. And I just bone milled the whole row because it's just easier for me to do that. That's what it looks like. So they say that each 1 pound of potatoes should yield you 10 pounds. And so I bought 5 pounds of each of these varieties that we're going to be planting today. So it'll be interesting to see. Now these are super late. You know, we plant potatoes around here mid-February. First batch went in February 28th. Today's April 5th. So I don't know how long they're going to go, but we're just going to wait and see how everything goes. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the next variety. Look at that one. That one looks amazing. That one looks really, really good. So we can probably do more than 2 cuttings off of this one, but I definitely know I'm going to do that one right there. One. And let me think about how I want to do the rest of this one. Because the eyes are really, maybe I could do it like this. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Diagonal, like that. I'll let that be a piece right there. And then we'll let this one be a piece. I know it's huge and it's weird looking, but it's fine. As long as there's eyes on the top, it should grow. This one we're just gonna slice kind of down the middle. Then we've got 2 right there. We've got that row all in, and I had to put 1, 2, 3, 4 on the first row, but I'll put a label right there, something on the ground, so that I'll know that that's a new one. So let's go ahead and do that. So to start the row, we put something right there. And then when there's another one, we put something right there as well. All right, I'm gonna get these covered up. You're curving.
Huh?
You're curving. You're going that way.
I'm trying to stay on a line with the. Yeah, I am curving.
Uh-huh. All right, so now that Brandon used the pickaxe to get the trench dug, I'm gonna come behind him and just make sure that I have enough space to plant each potato. I don't know if you guys can see from the camera or not, but we've hit the native soil because we've got the red clay happening right down here. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our trench dug. Now I'm going to go down the trench with the bone meal. And since I've learned that these specific potatoes take about 10 to 14 days to come up, I was worried before about the amount of bone meal that I was using, but I feel like they need a lot of feeding, so because I know that it takes so long for them to come up, I'm not even worried about it anymore. Okay, so we've got one more variety to go. And this is our Yukon Gold. These are also organic as they fall out of the bottom of the bag. I don't even think I knew that was open. Yukon Gold are excellent for growing potatoes in the south. They should produce a big yield, and we're excited about growing these. I have grown them before. It's just been a while because pretty sure I didn't grow these last year. But this year we're growing all of the varieties. Well, 3 different types. So we'll have 2 whites, 1 red. I wanted to get a blue, but since I was buying all of my seed potatoes from Johnny's this year, I didn't find a blue one that I felt would grow really well in this area in the southeast. So I didn't want to waste money or time or soil or any of the above. So I just went with some that produced true results for others, and then with the Yukon Golds for us in the past as well. So here we go again. This one's stuck, but it's stuck to the whole thing. So I'm just gonna cut. There, we lost some eyes, but we didn't lose all of them. All right, a lot of these are small, so they're gonna go right into the ground. We won't even have to worry about those at all. I don't know how much we're gonna get off of those, but you know, we're gonna try it. We try to plant everything that we can. Whew, a lot of these are really, really small. I don't like that. Johnny's do better. As expensive as things are from Johnny's, I need bigger seed potatoes than this. That thing I have to plant, well, no, I'm going to leave it because I've got so many small ones that I just don't want to chance it. I'm going to leave that one intact. There's another little baby tiny one. I don't know if these little baby tiny ones are going to work out. I'm going to plant these in the front of the row. Then that way I'll be able to keep track and see kind of what happens with these. Honey, you need me? You good? Okay. Another big one, but we only got eyes at the top, so that's where we're going. I mean, you can tell that there was maybe going to be some eyes forming around here, but since I've got definite eyes right here, I'm just going to plant the whole potato. This one has an extra butt. Bunny. Okay, finally one that I can split. Good deal. Thankful for that. Whole potato. I got ripped off. Look at this. Why are these so small?
Don't matter, they're gonna grow potatoes.
I know, but are they going to grow good potatoes? So small. Little tiny babies. Any harvest is a good harvest. So if we come out in the next few months with some potatoes, even from these small ones, I'm going to be pretty shocked. A lot of these I couldn't even cut because that one's not even worth trying to cut. So I'm just going to leave it intact. There's not a lot of eyes all over the place on these ones. Oh, here's one. Here's one that I can cut right down the middle. So we'll go in the ground like that. I actually ordered my seed potatoes and my sweet potatoes from Johnny's this year, so hopefully Johnny's will do me good. And I'll get lots and lots of potatoes from here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and get these planted, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like before we close up the hole. Alright, so here's the row. Unfortunately, I ran out of space, so I had 6 more potatoes left, and it was the bigger ones. So I just had to make 6 holes and put those potatoes in there because this is it. I need the other garden space for everything else, so I didn't necessarily want to do it that way, but yeah, what do you do? Because I didn't want them to be that spaced close together, but they're all in here. Essentially, that first row has 3 different potato varieties in it because I had 3 that went over there as well, but I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to label this one as well so that I know what happened here, because you know, if you don't label, you will not remember. You think you'll remember, but you won't. So it's so important to label. So this first row, I've got Red Norland. In between it, I've got the Kennebec. At the very end, I've got the Yukon Gold. And thankfully, you know, these didn't go any smaller. Well, I guess it was good that they were that small because I was out of space and didn't even realize that I would be out of space. So let's cover it up. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for the planting potatoes portion of this video. We went ahead and got, well, these rows are about 50 feet, so maybe this is about 30 feet of potatoes planted in each one of these rows. And Brandon is digging out the...
The greatest.
You are the greatest, babe. He's digging out the drip irrigation that's been buried since fall.
All right, we're just about done for the day before the rain rolls back in, but we were happy about what we got done today. We were able to plant some potatoes, resoil 3 rows, put down some drip irrigation and some weed barrier. I'm going to put down this last couple of mounds and smooth it out and cover it with weed barrier. So we'll have this next row done so we can get back out here probably next weekend when it stops raining and get that planted up. So we had a good day. Thank you. What?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, like and subscribe.